King Josiah TV, guys, where this channel was created to educate, promote the kingdom of Jesus Christ in this world as ambassadors. I'm your host, Josiah. And before we get started, guys, I need you to do me a quick favor. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. And if you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give me that follow button. Let's get into it.
Watch giants fall like Goliath. David, I dance. This ain't no tick-tock. God told me that my steps was ordered. Walking in flip-flops. Chris Rock, how they laughed at me.
His name is Cliffe Knechtle. I might have said this wrong. And he was on Logan Paul's podcast recently. It was this week, I believe. No, I'm sorry. This week or last week, he was on his podcast. And they talked about Logan Paul pretty much talked about, and the podcast is called Impulsive, by the way. He's with his son. Cliff is with his son. That's the gentleman you guys see on the screen right now. He was with his son, and they had some really good conversation where Cliff and his son prove of God's existence and prove of things pertaining to the faith and questions that Logan Paul has, because he's definitely been a rival to the faith and someone that is pushed back against, had questions. And I believe you should ask questions. And that's actually the topic that they're going to get into. You should ask questions. You should push back. You shouldn't just what people regurgitate and say, like we said earlier, you should go with. So this is really good. And this is what they're going to get into. And I want you guys to listen to this. This is some good learning tools here.
No, doubting Thomas had all the disciples who claimed eyewitness testimony to the resurrection coming to him, telling him exactly what happened. Finally, Jesus actually gives him the physical proof, says, touch the actual nail prints in my hands, thrust your hand into the spear wound in my side, then stop doubting and believe. So eventually he calls him out of his doubt. But to your good point, I've doubted more than my brothers all life long. And my 3-year-old daughter the other day was like, I don't believe in God. Like, I can't see, touch, taste. I'm like, you're 3. What is going on here? It's so in the genes. I just hate it.
You just took a bite of Play-Doh.
Exactly. I can answer this. And so I love that about the Christian faith, unlike other faiths, which is, yeah.
So, but it sounds like this person that you were going back and forth with is talking about your certainty in the belief of Jesus, that he existed. That's what it sounds like. And I guess that's kind of was my question as well. Like how do you know? Is because the preservation of history is, excuse me, freaking difficult. That's extremely difficult, by the way. History is often written by the victors, right? And I don't know who the victor is in this case, but like we have lost thousands of years of history to, I don't know, destruction, fire, torment, collapse, war, rage, rain.
Shopify Point of Sale makes it easy to start and grow your retail business. All backed by the world's most powerful commerce platform.
And so the further back we go, it is harder for me to put my seal of belief on something if I don't have a certain amount of evidence. Like I'm one of those, and I'm not like, I'm just doubting. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just asking questions. And eyewitness testimony seems to be like the strongest actual receipt of these events that took place in years 0, by the way, right? I want to talk about that, pin that question. But yeah, you have a tremendous amount of faith in eyewitness testimony and the preservation of the records that contributed towards this story of Jesus Christ. Correct.
As well as Muhammad. If you tell me Muhammad never existed, I'm going to look you in the face and say, I'm sorry. The historical evidence is Muhammad was born about 570 AD and died about 632 AD.
What Muhammad claimed to be a messenger of God?
Prophet of God.
Prophet of God. Do you not believe in that God? Allah, I'd assume?
When you read the Quran, there are good reasons to question the total reliability of Muhammad. So therefore, I don't trust him too much. I have great respect for Muhammad in the way he taught give alms to the poor. I think that's tremendous. Muhammad had more respect for Jesus than the typical American does. Muhammad believed that Jesus was born of a virgin, that he ascended to heaven, he lived a sinless life, he's coming back a second time. Wow. But Muhammad did not subscribe to the deity of Christ, that Christ is actually God in human form.
So I asked someone who it was pretty religious, who's close to me. I asked this person, I said, so what about people who don't believe in Jesus, but are still extremely religious and they subscribe to Allah or the Buddhist or whatever the deity is that they worship and believe in. And even just based on what you guys have told me today, if that person doesn't believe in Jesus Christ, I said to this person, are they going to hell? Are they doomed for the rest of eternity?
And Cliff is about to answer this question in his son, but I want to just jump in here. Yes. And a lot of people that are not Christians and not saved, you hear that and they're like, wait, why is Christianity got to be so exclusive? They want an open door. Let me break it down this way. If I come to your house, you don't know me, you've never seen me before, we have no sense of communication or relationship. Let's throw in there, you've probably seen me around. We don't talk. We don't have any type of relationship or communication. And I knock on your door in the middle of the night and say, let me in. I need somewhere to stay. And I say, let me in. You say, no. I don't know you. We don't have a relationship. Like, it's a little sketch. You just come up here in the middle of the night and you're like, no, I'm a good person. I pay my bills, blah, blah, blah. I just somewhere need to stay. Like, let me in. And they're like, no, I don't know you like that. This is the middle of the night. We don't have communication or relationship. I can't let you in. See, the kingdom of Christ is just the same. You're walking into God's house or walking up to God's house and saying, oh, I'm good. I've done all these great works, these great acts. I've served, my, pertaining to my religious faith, and I've done all these things. So you should let me in. And God goes, you don't have a relationship with me. This is my home. This is my house. I dwell with the ones that I have a relationship with. I don't know you. I'm not going to let you in my house just because off of your good merit and who you say you are. No, you're welcome to my house based off a relationship. No one lets anybody in their house that they don't know, they don't have a relationship with, just because they say they're a good person. So yes, in that way, God says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to God but through me. You can't get him from the top. You can't get him from the bottom, and you can't get him from the side. Yes, Christianity is an exclusive club.
The only reason people go to hell is because they choose to live their life separate from God. And
Jesus? Sorry.
Yep.
In this
from
context,
Jesus, from God. Yep. Correct. So if I choose to reject Christ and live my life separate from him, I'm choosing to live my life separate from God. And I will, based on my decision, will spend eternity separate from him.
So you believe that anyone who doesn't accept Jesus Christ is going to hell?
Anybody who hears about Christ and has the opportunity to investigate Christ by reading the Gospels and chooses to reject Christ, Jesus clearly said, for God so loved the world, he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already, because he's not believed in the name of God's one and only son. That's what Jesus said.
It just isolates such a large portion of the population.
Good point. Jesus doesn't give his followers an option when it comes to loving people. If I'm a follower of Christ, I don't have an option to hate. I have to accept. I have to be tolerant. In fact, if I'm going to follow a man who, as he's bleeding and dying on a cross, prays for his enemies, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's the essence of tolerance. So intolerance, bigotry, hatred is not an option for a genuine follower of Christ.
But isn't intolerance sort of rooted in Christianity a bit?
Okay, great question. This is a matter of truth. If I say to you, every religion leads to God, is that a truth claim?
No.
I would argue yes. What I'm saying is every religion leads to God, which means I contradict the Muslims, I contradict the Christians, I contradict the Jews. This is a truth claim.
Okay.
I, as a white Western male, am saying every religion leads to God. That's a truth claim. If I say to you, half the religions lead to God, is that a truth claim? Sure it is. I'm saying half are right, half are wrong. That's a truth claim. When Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father except through me, is that a truth claim? Yeah, it sure is. You see, Logan, we all make truth claims. Everybody does. If you're against racism, you're making a truth claim. If you're against sexism, you're making a truth claim. If you're for equal housing opportunity, you're making a truth claim. You better not be prejudiced against someone because of their ethnic heritage when you rent out your apartment. So everybody makes truth claims. So the question is, what is the evidence supporting the truth claim that you buy into? Oh, I'm agnostic, Cliff. I don't believe anything. I'm sorry, that's impossible. Because you have to make ethical decisions every day.
Yeah.
And the ethical decisions you make every day tattles what you really believe about reality. I'm sorry, you got to go to funerals. Got to. Your loved ones are going to pass.
You don't believe it could be intuitive? This feels wrong. This feels right.
Or socially programmed, as we spoke about earlier.
Okay, good. Yes, society obviously impacts. But don't you and I have the utmost respect for Dr. Martin Luther King, for Abraham Lincoln, for Gandhi, who choose to follow their conscience instead of following the status quo? Don't we really respect people who say, you know something, there's a lot of social pressure on me to go this way, but I'm not going to go this way because I have a rational mind, I've got a conscience, and I'm going to think through this issue, and I'm going to do what I believe is best.
Well, we also appreciate those people now, like given,
Yes.
us, the four of us,
Yes.
white American men in 1950, right? Or
Yep.
1956. Like, who knows what is that? Somebody's going to kill me on this date.
No, we're
Day for what?
For MLK, are we close?
Yeah,
Are we close?
yeah.
At least
Right.
56. Does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Who knows what our thoughts about his speaking?
He died in 1960, but I won't get him on that topic.
Would have been at that given time, which I'm bringing back. And by the way, obviously coming from a Christian, this is just an exercise here of, like what say you to these people who believe that some of that ethical behavior and moral behavior is just a socially programmed belief set from their existence on this planet. I think we've spoken about this a little bit today.
You bet. Well, it depends how you view the human being. If a human being is simply the sum total of the influences of their environment, we're not free. We've been programmed by our environment. Now, I agree, environment has a powerful influence. I think that's obvious. I'm dressed the way I am because I grew up in the United States. So I've been influenced by my culture, by my society.
Connecticut. To be honest with you,
Sociopath.
trust me, I would still be rocking both of these fits if I hadn't moved to LA. When I met Logan, I was wearing that exact same outfit. I swear.
But I don't think I have to follow my environment.
Right.
And I think there are more than enough examples from all four of our lives that at times we've followed our environment and at times we've contradicted our environment.
But I think you hit something different. So you hit social, you hit instinctual, and I go by evolutionary theory. I believe in evolution, micro.
Wait, what?
A lot of Christians don't.
Yeah, wait, whoa.
Well, so morally, you should be at the top of the food chain. You're a fighter, right? You've got power.
They're kind of going to get into a slightly different subject here, guys. But that was a part that I wanted to highlight. I encourage you guys to go back and watch that impulsive interview. Thank you again for everybody that has again been continuing to show support to King Josiah TV and this channel. Please, if you like this content, if you stuck along for the whole podcast, please share this video with a friend, or family. Go ahead and smash the like button for me right now. Hit the subscribe button if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Go ahead and hit the follow button. And guys, I will see you.
But my salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way you to sin is death for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was